Guys, what's going on? It is Ash here coming at you today in Clash Royale. Today, we're going to go over the top 10 lowest skill cap cards in the game, something we have never done here on the channel. But first, a quick qualifier or disclaimer: if you use these cards, it does not mean that you're a bad player or that you're a noob. The meaning of low skill cap, at least for this video, in my mind, is cards that you can use and just get value from simply by placing onto the arena. Not a lot of strategic play involved, not a lot of, necessarily kiting or pro timing and precision. These cards, when used in the right situations, just don't require a lot of skill. You can simply just place them and watch them do their thing in the arena. So in good fun, guys, don't take this too personal. Let's go ahead and get to the list, but before that, Dancing Goblin. Number 10 on the list is going to be Valkyrie. Now, I love Valkyrie. She's one of my favorite cards in the game. But let's face it, she doesn't require a ton of skills when used in certain situations, such as a bunch of skeletons or goblins or whatever. Anything swarmy coming down your lane, she's got it. She's got you covered. You just plop her down in the middle of all the swarm. She does her whirlwind attack, and that's it. Game over. Well, at least she has to be countered down the other end of the arena. I love Valkyrie, but she presents a ton of value without needing a ton of skill. That's why she makes this list at number 10. Next up is the Hog Rider. Now, the Hog Rider is probably the most polarizing card inside the game. A lot of people love Hog, a lot of people hate Hog. But hear me out here. I think that to have success playing Hog Rider, a lot of success, it requires a very high level of skill. Then why the heck is he on the list, Ash, you idiot? The reason he's on the list is because inherently the skill required to pick up the Hog and play him is relatively low. He's always played 99% of the time at the bridge, at the river. That's it. It's not like you're playing him strategically in any other way. All it really takes to play the Hog is to wait till your opponent has their counters out of rotation and then just spam them at the bridge. So inherently the card is low skill. However, because of all the counters going around in the meta, it obviously takes a high level of cycle skill to have success with the entire deck. So the deck high skill, the card, it's low skill. That's why he comes in at number 9 on the list. At number 8 on our list is going to be the Skill Horde, aka the Minion Horde. Now, it's tongue-in-cheek referred to as the Skill Horde, meaning that it doesn't kind of require any skill to play, right? I mean, as long as your opponent doesn't have their arrows in the cycle, you're looking pretty good with the Minion Horde. At the cost of 5 elixir, it can take down almost anything in its track. Your one worry, of course, is like baby dragon, splash damage, and of course, the opponent's spells, but in a way, it acts as a great source of spell bait. The Minion Horde does so much damage to tanks and basically anything coming down your lane, and it doesn't require a lot of skill to play. You just place it down and hope the opponent doesn't have a good counter, and that's it. Done. Game over, hopefully. That's why Minion Horde comes in at number 8 on the list. At number 7, we have the Battle Ram. Battle Ram is another card just like Hog Rider that is only being played at the bridge, and it's only building targeting. There's not much to it. Battle Ram in hand, plop it at the river, sometimes can be cycled behind the King Tower as well, but most of the time it's being used as purely a bridge spam card. It's a great card. It's an effective card even after the nerf, but in my opinion, it's definitely not a high skill cap card. Again, it's really about knowing what your opponent has in hand for counters and then just using it when they don't have a good counter. That's it. Easy peasy. That's why the Battle Ram comes in at number 7 on the list. Coming in at number 6 is the big fella. It is the Golem. I'm sure a lot of you guys probably had Golem in your top 3, or some of you guys who are Golem players maybe didn't have him on the list at all. I think a lot of this comes down to the personal opinion you have on this card. Wait a second, I play Golem, he's not low skill, Ash. Well, in truth is that the Golem, to have, just like a lot of these cards like Hog Rider, to have a lot of success with it, of course you need skill. There's a reason that monkeys in Flobby and Royale are consistently at the top of ladder, and there's not a lot of other people that high, because there is a certain threshold where you can have a lot of skill with the card. However, to pick it up and play it behind your king tower when you know your opponent's win condition is out of cycle, or you have the elixir lead, which is the 2 scenarios you're probably going to be dropping your Golem. I mean, after that, it's just use your Princess's Towers health as a resource, and then support your Golem with the best support cards given the deck that you're facing. That's it. It's a pretty easy card to play. It doesn't get too much easier in terms of the amount of skill that you need to place it down on the arena than the Golem. You place it, you build the push, done. Wash your hands, good game. That's it. 3 crown, done, over, game over. That's why it comes in at number 6 on the list. Moving on to number 5, it is everybody's favorite card to hate, or maybe the second favorite card to hate now. I think it's been really overshadowed by the Elite Barbarians, but today, at number 5, it's going to be the Royal Giant. Now, Royal Giant still does an incredible amount of damage, and let's face it, even with the rework, it is still one of the most annoying cards, because unless you have a very strong defense or an Inferno Tower, something that you can really counter the Royal Giant with, he's just guaranteed damage. And he's so slow and has so much HP that he just sits there with his cannon and he's just like, boom, 300 damage. Boom, 300 damage. It's just the way the mechanics of the card just tend to lend a little bit of, I don't know, credence to the fact that he is annoying and he is low skill cap. Let's face it, you place him there and then you support him with a Furnace or for some Fire Spirits or maybe even a Lightning. You choose your support cards wisely and you're going to have success with the Royal Giant. That's why he certainly deserves a spot in the top 5 here on the list of low skill cap cards. Hey, speaking of the other hated card, at number 4 on the list is going to be the Elite Barbarians. Elite Barbarians is a funny card. It's kind of the opposite of Hog Rider or Golem in my eyes, because it's actually a bad card, unlike Hog Rider in Golem and Royal Giant too. Elite Barbarians suck, but when they're over leveled and you spam them with rage when your opponent just doesn't happen to have a good answer to two disgustingly fast and strong Elite Barbarians in the lane with rage, well, your tower's down. They can be so annoying to face for that reason, especially when they are over leveled on ladder. Let's face it, this should be at the top of the priority list in terms of a card rework for the Clash Royale team at Supercell, just because, I mean, they suck. They are one of the worst cards to draft. They're one of the worst cards to play in a grand challenge or at the top of ladder. However, when over leveled, they're still disgustingly overpowered and annoying and low skill in some situations. That's why they come in at number 4 on the list. All right, guys, the top 3, and coming in at number 3 is going to be Freeze. It's icy right now inside Clash Royale. Freeze is everywhere, and Freeze can be a high skill cap card in some situations. Knowing when to combo Freeze with that zap to kill Swarm, knowing when to predictive freeze, or even use an unorthodox freeze on defense, all takes some skill. However, I'll stand by this. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Freeze is one of those cards that can allow a bad player to beat a good player more often than not. All it takes is one surprise freeze or one big push. When your opponent does have the proper counters in hand, you just wait a second and then bump, freeze, game over, GG. I don't know if it's the tackiness of the card Freeze. By the way, I'm a Freeze fan, but there's definitely a case to be made that it is one of the lower skill cap, one of the sleazier cards in the game. When you use it, you take your opponent by surprise. They played perfectly the entire match, but you can win. Or maybe you played perfectly the entire match, and then boom, one freeze from the opponent, game over, GG, minus 30 trophies, have a nice day. That's why freeze comes in at number 3 on the list. So only 2 cards left, ladies and gentlemen. Coming in at number 2 on my list of the lowest skill cap cards in the game is going to be the Barbarian Hut. The Barbarian Hut has so much HP, even with the small nerf to it, that you can't really use spells on it. And if you use a big spell on the Barbarian Hut, 9 times out of 10, your opponent is really happy because they probably have something else like a Flying Machine or 3 Musketeers or something else like a Minion Horde that can bait out that spell, or that they can take advantage and punish you with a Battle Ram and a Minion Horde, 2 other cards on the list after you fireball that Barbarian Hut. Barbarian Hut can stack up in double elixir time. There's nothing more annoying than facing a Barbarian Hut spawner deck when you just have loads of barbarians coming down the lane. It can be frustrating, especially in like double or triple elixir mode. Barbarian Hut doesn't really require much skill. I would, I challenge you guys to tell me that the Barbarian Hut requires a lot of skill. I don't think it's possible. You just place it down and there it is. It's a value play. You have a Barbarian Hut, you have a bunch of barbarians and a strong defensive unit, distracting unit on your side of the arena. There's no doubt about it. Barbarian Hut's one of my favorite cards to play because I love low skill cards. That's why it comes in at number 2 on our list. Number 1 might surprise some of you guys. Any guesses? Any guesses? It's not Lava Hound, it's not Giant. I think that those win conditions actually do require a little bit more skill than the other win conditions that we had on this list today. However, you can certainly make a case that they do belong here. Executioner, Wizard, a lot of those support cards as well. But no. The card that I'm going to put as number 1, the least skill in the game, is going to be the Royal Recruits. Now, the Royal Recruits are literally the most mindless card that you can play. There's only really 2 or 3 spots that you're ever going to be playing them. You can't play them on the opponent's side of the arena, even when you have a tower down. I guess when you have both tower downs, you can. But you're going to be playing them mostly, boom, at the bridge. That's it. Or behind your king tower, boom, or in front of your princess tower, depending on when you need them. And afterwards, you kind of handcuff the opponent in terms of options that they can do. They can't pressure you opposite lane because your recruits take up the whole side of the arena. And that's it. You can support them afterwards if you want to. Maybe a Flying Machine, maybe a Magic Archer in the center of the arena. But that's about it. You just plop them down. Oh, wait a second. I forgot. How could I forget that you can split 4 to one side and 2 to the other? Forget it. I'm going to take them off the list after they made that change, making them a very skillful card. Okay. I'm joking. I'm being sarcastic. I don't think they require much skill, even with the 4-2 split. However, they can still be an effective card in a lot of situations. I don't think they're an unhealthy card for the game personally. I know a lot of people disagree with that. Either way, Royal Recruits make number 1 on this list. You can't get very less skillful than plop, boom, 6 cards down, 7 elixir down. You just stare at them, and that's about it. So guys, what do you think of my list, and what list do you want to see me make next? I really love putting out these videos, as you guys know, maybe every once a week or so, just to kind of switch things up, because deck reviews every single day are great, but at the same time, just for my own creativity, I like switching up the content like this. So I hope you guys enjoy it as well. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. The channel is growing, like I said, faster than ever. It's just so amazing when this is going into the 4th year of Clash Royale, and I've never been getting more subscribers and views on my videos. So thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it. So guys, that's gonna do it for today's video. Shout out to Stats Royale and Brenchong, my YouTube partners. Check out their information in the description below. Thank you, and as always, take care, guys.